Welcome back again to another video. So, ito na yung last method natin in solving quadratic equations. So, yung mga 3 methods na nauna na i-discuss ko, yung mga link nila is nasa description. So, i-recap lang natin yung una, extracting the square roots. Pangalawa, factoring. And then yung pangatlo, completing the square. For this video lesson, we'll have quadratic formula. So, yung quadratic formula, ayan po, nasa screen. Yung may x equals negative b plus, ayan. Basta yan. I-discuss ko siya mamaya kung ano yung ibig sabihin ng formula na yan. So, let's have the lesson objective. Solving quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. Solving quadratic equations by using the quadratic formula. So, ito na po yung pinakahuling method ng pagkuha ng solusyon ng quadratic equations. Quadratic equations which cannot be solved by extracting the square roots, by factoring, and completing the square may be solved using the quadratic formula. So, kapag tinry mo na yung tatlong formula na yon at tatlong methods na yon at hindi pa rin lumitaw yung hinahanap mo ng solution, therefore, you can use quadratic formula. Kasi lahat ng quadratic equations ay nasosolve ng quadratic formula. Kahit pa yung mga imaginary yung solutions niya. So let's have the steps in finding the roots of the quadratic equation by using quadratic formula. So the first step is write the quadratic equation in standard form if necessary. So hindi natin kasi masosolve ang isang equation ng mas maayos unless nakasulat siya in standard form. So when we say in standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So again, if necessary, kapag nakasulat na siya sa standard form, no need to do it. Next. Then, identify the values of a, b, and c. So yung a, b, and c na to, ito yung quadratic term, linear term, and constant term. So yung mga numerical coefficient, yun yung mga values ng a, b, and c. Yung mga terms niya. So let's have the next step. Substitute the values of a, b, and c to the quadratic formula. So the quadratic formula is given, which is x equals negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So for our first problem, we have identify the roots of x squared plus 3x minus 28 equals 0. So let's identify the values of a, b, and c. So the values of a, b, and c are a1, b3, c, negative 28. Now, let's apply the quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now, substitute the values of a, b, c to the formula. So, negative b, that is negative 3 plus minus the square root of b, that is 3 squared minus 4 times the value of a, which is 1, times the value of c, which is negative 28, all over 2 times the value of a again, 1. Next, negative 3 plus minus the square root of 3 squared, that is 9, negative 4 times 1, negative 4, times negative 28, that is positive 112, all over 2. So, napahaba yung square root natin. So, next, negative 3 plus minus square root of, what is the sum of 9 and 112? That is 121, and then all over 2. Next, negative 3 plus minus, what is the square root of 121? That is 11. So, all over 2. So, next na kukunin natin ngayon is yung values ng x sub 1 and x sub 2. So, x sub 1 muna. X sub 1 equals negative 3 plus 11 all over 2. So negative 3 plus 11, that is positive 8, divided by 2, 4. So the value of x sub 1 is 4. So i-box natin siya. And then x sub 2 equals negative 3. So kung kanina plus, ngayon naman minus 11 over 2. And then negative 3 minus 11, that is negative 14. Divided by 2, negative 7. So, yung mga roots natin are 4 and negative 7. So, let's check. X squared plus 3x minus 28 equals 0. Yung mga roots natin, 4 and negative 7. So, if x equals 4, then 4 squared plus 3 times 4 minus 28 equals 0. 4 squared, that is 16, plus 3 times 4, 12, minus 28 equals 0. So, 16 plus 12, that is 28, minus 28 equals 0. 0 equals 0. So, our solution x equals 4 is correct. Next, x equals negative 7. Negative 7 squared plus 3 times negative 7 minus 28 equals 0. Negative 7 squared, that is 49. 3 times negative 7, that is negative 21. Minus 28 equals 0. So 49 minus, combine negative 21 and negative 28, that is negative 49 equals 0. 49 minus 49 is 0, equals 0. So, ang ating mga roots, x equals 4 and negative 7. So, let's have example number 2. Solve for the roots of x squared minus 2x minus 3 equals 0. So, the values of a, b, and c, a equals 1, b equals negative 2, c equals negative 3. So, and then, let's apply the quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Next, let's substitute the values of a, b, c to the given formula. Negative b, that is negative 2. So, plus minus square root of negative 2 squared minus 4 times the value of a, 1, times the value of c, negative 3, all over 2 times the value of a, 1. Next, negative, tapos negative 2 na nakapalob sa parenthesis, magiging positive 2. Plus, minus, the square root of negative 2 squared, that is 4. Negative 4 times 1, negative 4 times negative 3, positive 12. Next, all over 2 times 1, 2. 2 plus minus square root of 4 plus 12, 16. All over 2. Next, 2 plus minus the square root of 16, that is 4. All over 2. So, dito muna tayo sa x sub 1. 2 plus 4 over 2. 2 plus 4 is 6. Divided by 2, 3. So, x sub 1 is 3. Then, x sub 2, 2 minus 4 over 2. So, 2 minus 4 is 2. Divided by 2, 1. So, x sub 2 equals 1. So, let's check. X squared minus 2x minus 3 equals 0. So, ang value ng x natin are 3 and negative 1. So, if x equals 3, then 3 squared minus 2 times 3 minus 3 equals 0. So, 3 squared, that is 9. Negative 2 times 3, negative 6, minus 3 equals 0. So, 9 minus 6 is 3, minus 3, 0. So, 9 minus 9 equals 0. 0 equals 0. Combining negative 6 and negative 3, that is negative 9. Next, x equals negative 1. Negative 1 squared minus 2 times negative 1 minus 3 equals 0. Negative 1 squared, that is 1. Negative 2 times negative 1, that is 2. Minus 3 equals 0. 1 plus 2 is 3. Minus 3 equals 0. So, 0 equals 0. So, our roots are x equals 3 and negative 1. For next example, find the roots of x squared equals 5x plus 14. So, yung given equation natin, hindi siya nakasulat in standard form. So, kailangan muna natin siyang isulat. So, magiging x squared minus 5x minus 14 equals 0. And then, i-identify natin yung values ng a, b, and c. A equals 1, b equals negative 5, and c equals negative 14. So, ayan. Meron na tayong values ng a, b, and c. So, let's apply quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So, x equals, the value of b is negative 5. So, and then, negative siya sa ano niya. So, magiging positive 5. Plus minus, square root of, again, negative 5 squared minus 4 times the value of a, which is 1. And then, the value of c, negative 14. Ayan. All over 2 times 1. Next, 5 plus minus the square root of negative 5 squared, 25. Negative 4 times 1, negative 4 times negative 14, that is positive 56. All over 2. Next, 5 plus minus the square root of, the sum of 25 and 56 is 81. And then all over 2. Next, 5 plus minus, what is the square root of 81? That is 9. And then all over 2. Let's now have x sub 1 and y sub 1. So, ayan. X sub 1 equals 5 plus 9 all over 2. 5 plus 9 is 14. Divided by 2, 7. X sub 2, 5 minus 9 all over 2. 5 minus 9 is negative 4. Divided by 2, negative 2. So, yung mga roots natin, 7 and negative 2. So, let's check. X squared equals 5x plus 14. So, yung mga roots natin, again, x equals 7 and negative 2. So let's check. X equals 7. So x squared, 7 squared equals 5 times 7 plus 14. 7 squared, that is 49. 5 times 7, that is 35 plus 14. 49 equals, the sum of 35 and 14 is 49. So that is correct for 7. For negative 2 squared equals 5 times negative 2 plus 14. Negative 2 squared, 4, equals 5 times negative 2, negative 10, plus 14. So 4 equals negative 10 plus 14. So, unlike sign sila, subtract natin 14 minus 10, 4. And then follow the sign of the bigger value, 14, which is positive. So 4 equals 4. So our roots are 7 and negative 2. Let's have example number 4. What are the roots of 3x squared plus 13x plus 4 equals 0? So in here, yung numerical coefficient ng x squared natin is hindi na 1. So rather, 3. So ang gagawin natin dito, again, ililista natin yung mga values ng a, b, and c. So hindi natin siya i-divide sa yung equation by 3 kasi magiging complicated yung ating solution. So ganun na lang. So kung ano ang numerical coefficients nila, ganun pa rin natin sila isusulat. So let's have a equals 3 and then b equals 13 and then our c equals 4. So let's apply quadratic formula again. X equals negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Ayan. So paulit-ulit na lang tayo sa formula niya. I hope naging familiar na sa inyo. So negative b, negative 13 plus minus b squared, 13 squared minus 4 times the value of a, which is 3, the value of c, 4, all over 2 times the value of a, 3. Next, negative 13 plus minus square root of 13 squared, that is 13 times 13, 169. Minus 4 times 3, 12, times 4, 48. All over 2 times 3, that is 6. So, rewrite natin ulit. Negative 13 plus minus, what is the difference between 169 and 48? That is 121. So, pasensya na kayo sa radical symbol ko kung napahaba siya. So, and then all over 6. Next, negative 13 plus minus the square root of 121 is 11. So, check nyo man, 11 times 11, that is 121. All over 6. Now, let's have x sub 1. Negative 13 plus 11 all over 6. So, negative 13 plus 11, that is negative 2 over 6. Or, simplify. Don't forget to simplify. That is negative 1/3. So, say yung mga sagot natin, hindi sila considered correct unless nakasimplify. And then for x sub 2, negative 13 minus 11 all over 6. Negative 13 minus 11, that is negative 24 all over 6. We can divide negative 24 by 6 without remainder. So our answer is negative 4. So our roots are negative 1/3 and negative 4. So let's check. 3x squared plus 13x plus 4 equals 0. Then our roots are negative 1 over 3 and negative 4. So, negative 1/3 muna. X equals negative 1/3. 3 times negative 1/3 raised to 2 plus 13 times negative 1/3 plus 4 equals 0. And then 3 times the square of negative 1/3, that is 1 over 9. 13 times negative 1/3, that is negative 13 over 3 plus 4 equals 0. And then we can cancel out 3 and 9 kasi may common factor sila, which is 3. So, 1/3 na lang ito. Minus 13 over 3 plus 4. So, 1 minus 13, since similar fraction tong 1/3 and negative 13 over 3, that is 12 over 3. 12 over 3 is negative 12 over 3, that is negative 4, plus 4 equals 0. Negative 4 plus 4, that is 0. So, this is correct, negative 1/3. Let's have negative 4. Negative 4, 3 times negative 4 squared plus 13 times negative 4 plus 4 equals 0. And then, 3 times negative 4 squared, that is 16. 13 times negative 4 is negative 52. Plus 4 equals 0. 3 times 16, 48. Minus 52. So, para mas matuto kayo sa pagmumultiply ng mga simple numbers na yan, pagdi-divide, constant practice lang. 48 plus 4, 52. Minus 52 equals 0. So, this is also correct. So, the roots of our equations are negative 1/3 and negative 4. So, let's have example number 5. Determine the roots of 2x squared plus 5x minus 7 equals 0. So, the first thing we need to do is to identify the values of a, b, and c. A equals 2, b equals 5, and c equals negative 7. Okay? Next, applying the quadratic formula, negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. The value of b is 5, so negative 5 plus minus square root of b squared, that is 5 squared minus 4 times the value of a is 2, the value of c negative 7, and then all over 2 times 2. Next, negative 5 plus minus 5 squared, that is 25. Negative 4 times 2, that is negative 8. Times negative 7, that is positive 56. Then, all over 4. Next, negative 5 plus minus the square root of 25 plus 56, that is 81, all over 4. So, negative 5 plus minus the square root of 81, that is 9, all over 4. Now, let's have x sub 1 and x sub 2. Negative 5 plus 9 all over 4. Negative 5 plus 9, that is 4. All over 4, 1. So, our x sub 1 is 1. For x sub 2, we have negative 5 minus 9 all over 4. Negative 5 minus 9, that is negative 14 all over 4. So, we can simplify negative 14 and 4. And that is negative 7 over 2. So, kung mapapansin nyo, yung mga roots natin, minsan may mga fractions. So, kailan magkakaroon ng fractions na roots? Kapag yung ating x squared, yung ating the numerical coefficient of x squared ay hindi siya 1. So, kapag 2 siya, 3, 4, and so on, automatic, meron siyang fractional roots. Pero kung 1 lang ang numerical coefficient ng x squared, make sure, minimake sure ko kayo na yung mga roots niya, mga whole number. So, integer. So, negative or positive integers sila. 2x squared plus 5x minus 7 equals 0. And then our roots are 1 and negative 7 over 2. So, if x equals 1, then 2 times 1 squared plus 5 times 1 minus 7 equals 0. So, 2 times 1, 5 times 1, that is 5, minus 7 equals 0. 2 times 1, that is 2, plus 5 minus 7 equals 0. 2 plus 5, 7, minus 7 equals 0. So, if x equals negative 7 over 2, so 2 times negative 7 over 2 squared plus 5 times negative 7 over 2 minus 7 equals 0. So, what is the square of negative 7 over 2? So, kapag nag-square tayo ng fraction, nire-raise natin siya to both numerator and denominator kung ano man yung exponent or power. So, this will become 49 all over 4. 5 times negative 7, that is negative 35 over 2 minus 7 equals 0. So, we can cancel 2 and 4 kasi meron silang common factor na 2. So, magiging 49 all over 2 minus 35 over 2 minus 7 equals 0. So, what is 49 minus 35? Since similar fractions naman ito, 14 divided by 2, that is 7 minus 7 equals 0. Okay, so the roots of our given equation are 1 and negative 7 over 2. So let's have a bonus example. So, what are the roots of x squared plus 7x minus 10 equals 0? So, our given equation, hindi siya factorable by completing the square and factoring. So, masasolve lang natin siya using quadratic formula. Kasi yung mga roots niya, hindi naman whole number. So, hindi naman sila integer, positive, negative. So, meron silang square root. Okay? So, let's have the first step. Identify the values of a, b, and c. A is 1, b equals 7, and c equals negative 10. So, let's apply quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And then, the value of b, negative 7 plus square root of, substitute ulit natin, 7 squared minus 4 times the value of a, 1, times the value of c, negative 10. Okay. And then 2 times the value of a again, 1. Next, negative 7 plus minus the square root of 7 squared, that is 49. Negative 4 times negative 10, that is 40. Okay. Over 2 times 1, 2. So, rewrite natin. Negative 7 plus minus square root of 49 plus 40, that is 89. All over 2. So, kung mapapansin nyo dito, yung 89 natin, 89, wala siyang perfect, hindi siya perfect square, and then wala din siyang factor other than 1 na perfect square. So, ang solution ng given equation natin is x equals negative 7 plus minus square root of 89 all over 2. So, kung papakita natin using x sub 1 and x sub 2, magiging ganito. X sub 1, negative 7 plus square root of 89 all over 2. Pag naman x sub 2, negative 7 minus square root of 89 all over 2. So kung mapapansin nyo, ayan yung given solution natin. So, ayan. So, napakita ko na yung equation natin na hindi nasosolve using the three methods ay nasolve using quadratic formula. For next lesson, we have characterize the roots of a quadratic equation using discriminant. So, bago tayo magtapos, i-review lang natin yung 4 methods in solving quadratic equations. So, yung una, extracting the square roots. Pangalawa, factoring. Pangatlo, completing the square. And then yung pang-apat, yung quadratic formula. So, if there are equations that cannot be factored using the 3 methods, we can use the quadratic formula. So, tatandaan nyo, sinolve nyo na, ginawa nyo na yung proseso, hindi nyo pa rin masolve using the 3 methods, we can use or you can use the quadratic formula. Okay? So, yun lang. Maraming salamat.